Live. Hey, everybody, it's Rick Bassman here, live from Maui for Talking Tough. We've got a big week this week. Our guest today is going to be Diamond Dallas Page. I'm excited about this because, again, I'm like this average guy who gets to be on this show with absolute icons from the boxing, mixed martial arts, and bodybuilding groups every single week. And you know who those guys are, of course, Bas Rutten and Butterbean and Flex Wheeler. And today we add just as equally iconic name with Diamond Dallas Page from pro wrestling. So it's my privilege. I'm really looking forward to it. I've had a good week. I'm back on a good diet, back on a good exercise program, getting past that barrier I put in my brain that I'm 60 now and I'll never be in shape again, because I'm going to be in the best shape of my life, and I'm feeling good about that. And yeah, it's a good way to kick off the show today. I want to introduce my first co-host, and you talk about the words like icon and legend are thrown around pretty easily these days, but these words absolutely apply to my first co-host as much as they do to anybody. He's a guy that is known and loved worldwide for his ability to not only destroy people with one punch, but for a heart which is bigger than the power he hits with. That said, it is my I cannot talk this week, guys. I promise you I'll be more articulate from this point forward. It is my distinct privilege and pleasure to introduce my good friend, one of my best friends in the world, the man known worldwide as Butterbean.
Hey, Rick, good. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
And here he is.
Hey, Rick, thank you. Appreciate that, buddy. I guess I popped on too soon.
Absolutely. Bean, how are you doing this week? And before you answer what blew me away, I'm talking about getting in shape. You went from over 500 pounds to 350 pounds. I know you're having challenges with it, but I still want to congratulate you for that. How's it going?
Well, I went back on my very, very, very strict diet. I mean, people's on a bitch, but I'm only taking about 110 grams of protein, zero carbs. I mean, very minimum carbs, if any carbs. But yeah, I'm gonna get back on it really strong. So
good, man. And what's happening with you this week, other than being on this crazy diet?
Well, I spent some time with the grandkids and my own kids, and had a great holiday.
That's awesome. Didn't you say you had 9?
That was about it.
Wow. You had 9 grandkids in your house at one time, yeah?
Yeah, we had 9 grandkids, and it was crazy.
I can't even picture that. Like, what age range?
From 3 to 13.
Have you ever thought of dressing everybody up in the red, white, and blue shorts for like a family picture? That'd be awesome.
That would be funny.
Right on.
That would be funny.
Well, glad to see you with a smile on your face, my friend. Would you like to bring in our good mutual buddy and our next co-host?
Would love to. You know, like you were saying, legend, and this man falls in the legend category for sure. He fought Pride, he fought Pancreas, he fought almost every kind of mixed martial arts. I mean, he's the guy that if you walk into a bar, you'd never expect to be the baddest man in the bar. But he is. He's so calm and gentle. I mean, outside the ring, but once he gets in the ring, he's a monster. I've known Bas for a long time now, and he's a great guy. Didn't know he pro wrestled. He also pro wrestled. He's done so much different stuff, and I'm still learning more and more. And let's bring Bas on. He is a true legend.
Bas Rutten.
Whoa! Thank you, guys. Thank you for that nice introduction, Bean. Everybody good? Everybody good.
Dude,
We're
how
all
are you?
this week, Bas.
You know what I started with Christmas? I started with shaving my head with this beautiful razor that I received from a really good friend of mine. Beautiful blue, made from a jaw from an alligator. From you! And I swear to God, that's where I started shaving with. And from there on, it was just a nice Christmas. It was sitting home with the kids, with the daughters, just by themselves, going to church in the evening. And then, of course, we had a great Christmas meal. And when I go meal, it's like a fondue. You know, I love fondue a lot because I think the best meat, the best whatever, the best sauces, the best stuff to dip your sauces in and to fry it, you know, like tempura. It's magnificent. I can eat for 2.5 hours once I start eating that. So that's always a really fun thing to do in the house. And we had a good time, you know, relaxing, don't do anything, being with the family. That's what Christmas is all about.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
Good to see you, boss.
Good to see you guys. You want me to wheel the next guy in here?
Let's wheel him in, please. Yes.
Yeah, wheel him in. Let's see how we did it. Well, the next guy is a guy who, when he was competing, his thigh muscle was as big as my waist when I was competing. I'm not crapping here. 32 inches. He won the Arnold Classic 4 times in a row. Not in a row, but he won it 4 times in total. Arnold Schwarzenegger said he was one of the greatest bodybuilders ever. And even Ronnie Coleman, another bodybuilding legend, stated that Flex was the best he had ever competed against. He is a big martial artist as well. And that fighting spirit right now he's using to come back from an amputation on his right leg that he had in October 2019. And we already talked about it on our show, but I'm sure we will talk about it a little bit more. Ladies and gentlemen, the inspirational badass, Flex Wheeler.
Well, I'm not exactly sure where to go from there. It's all downhill from a introduction like that. You know, Butter, your smile is just so enchanting, man. Just to think that you destroyed mostly everybody else's smile that you ever engaged in the ring. And to see that big smile on your face, you know, the introduction you gave about Boss, you would never think he'd be the badass in a bar. I mean, man, you know, you look at a person like yourself, like, man, look at this big, lovable guy. And, you know, you YouTube him and find out that the guy you smash people's face in for a living. That's just so incredible. But great to be back on with you guys. I like that shirt. I've been watching them. The Karate Combat Man is really beautiful. I've been watching that a lot lately.
Nice.
Flex, what's happening in your world this week, man? What's new and exciting?
Nothing to brag about. You know, it was an incredible Christmas. Thank God that we all made another one. You know, I'm not gonna harp on mine too much. It wasn't that exciting. Extreme a lot of pain. I was in bed all day, but you know what? I'm here today, and you know, yesterday is gone, and looking forward to another great day and another great episode. I hear we have an amazing guest today.
Yes,
yeah,
we do.
you know, we do. And I was saying up front, Flex, it's like, first of all, I want to say how happy I am, Flex, that you are now part of this show regularly. As you know, when we first went to this format, you were the guy that we had our eye on. So I'm really happy that you're part of this now. If I were, you know, for some reason, I always think of mixed martial arts and bodybuilding and boxing and pro wrestling together. I could try to explain it, but I won't. If we were to add a host from the pro wrestling world, which we're not planning on, but the guy we have on today, that's the guy that I would want. He's like, I have that same affinity for him that I do for you guys. And, you know, it's Diamond Dallas Page. We talked about it. You know, in times, and this is never, boss, you know me, I never want to go political, so this is not meant this way. But in the time where the world is really challenged, you know, with COVID, one of our producers saying recently diagnosed with COVID, with the cases off the charts, with all the complaints about supply chain. And boss, you had your own trouble with the seat. Look how long it took you to get the trainer in. Oh my God. Yep. There's a lot of negativity out there right now. You know, somehow this past week, I've had a lot of conversations with friends where the conversations have been like permeated with hope. And the guest we have on this week, he personifies that hope as much as anybody I've ever known. So I think it's going to be good for all of us. I really do.
I think so too. Yeah, great guy, always upbeat. You know, when you see his Instagram post as well, it's always some funny stuff that he shows. You know, it's I really like him a lot.
So Bean, tell us, man. I really want to know when I'm going to go back to the grandkids thing. So you have 9. And
nine total.
I mean, I can't imagine. You know, I'll never have grandkids unless I get married to somebody that has grandkids. It's hard for me to fathom what that must feel like. Could you even explain what it feels like to have 9 grandchildren in your house at the same time?
I mean, they're better than kids, to be honest with you. I mean, they don't ask for a lot. I mean, you pretty much give them what they want, but you know, they don't ask for much. I mean, they're great grandkids. I mean, it's kind of it's really hard to explain the bond between you and your grandkids. It's like they're more special, more special than your own kids were. My kids bitch at me all the time. Well, how come my kids can do what I couldn't do? I think, yeah,
Because of your kids.
you know,
It's not mine.
so when they have grandkids, I think they'll understand. But when I first started fighting and went off, I had to move off to go train, and my wife and my kids went with me. My mother-in-law didn't talk to me for probably 5 or 6 years. Would not speak to me. I never understood why until I had grandkids, because I took her grandkids away from her. So, yeah, she wouldn't talk to me forever.
Wow.
So is it like you see in the movies where you got like the big happy family gathered around the fireplace and the Christmas tree and all that? Or is that just something we see in the movies?
That's pretty much the movies. They're fighting and arguing and who gets to be in the trampoline. And because I have a trampoline in my living room.
Your living room. God.
Yeah, I have a 12-foot trampoline for the kids in the living room.
Unsanctioned fights. That's what you should do with the kids. It's great stuff. Big gloves on. Sign up, pay-per-view show from Bean's house. That's a new promotion right there. You're welcome. 10%.
And Bas, do you have any grandchildren yet?
Yes, I do. I have one. His name is Scott. He just turned 6 years old. He's a natural heavyweight. He loves already Thai boxing. I signed him up, but he was a little bit too young. The youngest guy there, the youngest person was 12, I think. But of course, the teacher wanted him because I brought him there. Because they know me over there. And but I think it was to also that he steered away from it. But now he started telling his mother, my daughter, yes, I want to go back, Mom. I want to go back. And he's only 6, but he's a big kid. If I pick him up from school, you see all these kids. He's like literally a head taller than everybody else. So I'm telling you, my daughter also, she's as tall as I am. She's 6 feet. So he's going to be a big guy, and I think he's going to be great. I made this little video of him doing push-ups and pushing things and hitting things. He's got great accuracy, so I'm having high hopes here.
Well, we'll look for you in his corner one day.
Yeah.
Man, it trips me out that people. God, when do we become old, you guys? It trips me out that my peers, my friends, have grandkids, like Tom Howard, who we had on a couple of weeks ago. One of my best friends just had his first grandkid the other day. And like Tom in my mind will always be a kid himself. It's like, when did this happen? I don't know how you would answer that question. It just boggles my mind, that's all.
Yeah.
Time flies so fast though, Rick. I mean, it's like first thing they're a little baby, next thing they're asking to borrow the car keys to drive around the house.
Exactly.
Yeah, like Bean, you remember my ex-girlfriend Ann, I think. You had met. We were at the Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut for this mixed martial arts show that ended up getting canceled because the promoter was it was a mess. That was a whole other story. So we went into the 5-star restaurant there one night, the seafood restaurant, and it's me, Butterbean, and Bob Sapp. And the three of us are sitting at the bar together in the restaurant. So I'm in the middle of Bean and Sapp, which is probably a pretty funny picture. And this girl, absolutely beautiful, comes up, and she turned out she was a manager there. So I ended up chasing her for the next 5 days that we were staying there. And eventually ended up moving her and her daughter out to California. So I was dad for 2 years. I wasn't the best boyfriend, but I was a good dad, I think. And Bean, you probably remember the little one, Sam. Like, talk about straight out of Central Casting, the cutest little 2-year-old blonde girl you could ever see. And I loved her to death. And Bas, I have some great photos of like her having me in like fully extended arm bars when she's 3 years old. She hips up the whole 9 yards. Perfect triangle. I mean, she got good. And I got back in touch with Mom recently. I haven't seen them for over 10 years, 11 years. And I get to see them this year on Maui. So Samantha is now 14. Wow. She's 6 foot and 180 pounds. And she is the only female. She lives in Las Vegas, Flex. The Vegas NHL hockey team has, what's the name of the hockey team? I can't think of it. Do you know?
Golden Knights?
Yes, thank you. They have a junior team, and little Samantha is the only female on the boys' team, and apparently like just terrorizes every guy on the ice. So anyway, yes, they grow up, no doubt.
I love it.
And
Oh, I love that
Flex,
stuff.
how about you, Flex? Do you have grandkids?
I actually have great grandkids.
No.
What?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
explain that.
Yeah,
I want to know.
how is that mathematically even possible? Wow. Okay, tell us.
It's possible, and I actually have
So-
two great grandkids. I have, let me see, I have grandkids. One, two, I got to count. 3, 4, I think 5 grandkids, and I have 2 great grandkids. Yes, sir.
Wow.
You have great grandkids.
So, how old were you when you had your first baby?
Yeah, that's interesting. When I had my first, I was, I think, 14.
Ah, see,
Okay.
there we go.
Yeah.
Wow, but now it's super cool, right? I mean, it's got to be.
It is what it is now.
Grandkids.
No, I mean, it's amazing. My oldest daughter, Brandy, she actually lives here in Vegas also. So it's great. She's an amazing. All my kids are just amazing. I'm truly, truly blessed. And they're all smarter than me. They didn't go into bodybuilding. So, thumbs up for that.
Yeah.
Hey, Boss and Bean, look at Flex's face right now. He looks very young to me, actually, quite a bit younger than your actual age. And you have great. I wonder if our producer can replace. You know how we have our names in the bottom here? I think we should change Flex to Great Grandpa. I want to see that up there. That would be great.
Yeah, that my grandkids called me. I mean, it's cute because they're getting old enough. My grandkids and obviously my children, but they're old enough now where they know that I kind of did something of some importance. So my grandkids refuse to call me Papa. They call me Papa Strong, and I'm like, but I'm not strong no more. Look at this thing, and they're like, no, Papa Strong, and I'm like, okay, So
Nice.
it's beautiful, right? It's beautiful. Our grandkids and our kids, it carries on our name and our legacy. So I mean, I'm truly blessed.
Yeah. Wow, man.
And Flex, imagine this. You, Boss, Bean, me, the 4 of us. Man, we've had our challenges the past years, no doubt about it. Maybe the best is yet to come. I mean, anything's possible, right?
Is this?
Agree. Hey, listen, I, as me and Bean have been talking more frequently about our issues, and it's almost like we're twins. We mirror each other so much in our pain and our troubles and our surgeries. Is really amazing. I was just telling him, just a darker tan, and he'd probably pass off as me, but it is what it is. There's no complaining. There's been so many amazing people that we lost this year, last year, within the last just months. There's no complaining. We're still here. We still have an opportunity to make it better. So it's no complaining.
Yeah,
By the way, I just want to throw it out real fast. Like Hannah, from last week, she's in the hospital. It's doing really bad. So some prayers are always deserved. Hannah Keels with Chuck. So I heard that from Chuck. It's pretty bad. So
yeah, I saw that too. And I mean, what do you say to that? I mean, there like Flex said, there's so much pain and so much suffering out there. And,
yeah, but
with Hannah, sorry, Boss, go ahead.
No. You know what she's doing? From the hospital, she's helping other people.
Yes.
Because, I mean, she's in enormous pain. They took her with an ambulance, and then she's in the hospital. She arrives there, and she goes on the phone, and she talks to people who have the same problem. I mean,
yes.
Talking about strength.
And that's what I was going to point out, man. It's like the lady we saw last week laying in bed for the podcast because she couldn't get out of bed, but with that bright smile the entire time. Dude, that's her. That was not her saying, oh, I'm on a show now, so I have to fake my way through smiling for an hour. That's the mood. That's the way of life that she's chosen to adopt. And it was like that, my call today with my therapist. We, at the risk of getting a little philosophical, we were saying, it's interesting. You could sit in this spot right now, not move, not have any outside stimulus. I mean, this is great for me. I've got 3 icons and friends on, so it's easy to be in a good mood. But if you're by yourself, think how quickly you could get in a good mood or a bad mood without anything happening around you.
Yep.
So, dude, it's our choice all the time, right?
Yep. It is.
Hey, Rick, is Diamond around yet? Let's get Diamond out here.
Yes. I just got it. I'm trying to reach
Yeah, I
him
just
down.
got a text that they're trying to let him know to come backstage.
Yeah, we're I was purposely not looking at my phone this week. So the message we're seeing is that Paige is with us or not quite yet. He is. All right.
I
Well,
believe he is.
guys, with
Yeah.
with no further ado, a man whose legend equals that to our co-hosts in his respective field and beyond. Talk about a guy who's inspiring 24/7. Not only overcoming the shit he himself has been through, because this guy's been through it, but the way he's inspiring literally millions around the world every single day. Our longtime friend, I know I speak for all of us, Diamond Dallas Page.
What's up, boys?
Who? There he
Flex,
is.
Flex, you are a great grandpa. Good God, bro. You look amazing. What's
Thank
up,
you,
Bas? What's
Thank
up,
you.
Rick? What's up,
Thank you,
Butterbean?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Page.
I've been sitting there for about 10 minutes because Rick sends multiple messages to you. So I thought it was on a group message. Then I saw one that just came through it with you guys all pictures of it. So I said, that's got to be it. And then I was it the emails. You know, I'm pretty good on the internet, but Rick sends a lot of messages. So I've been sitting there for about.
I don't mind being thrown under the bus. I'm fine with that. But I want to blame my producers, our amazing producers, for that one. Let myself off the hook. But you made it. Here you are.
I'm here, baby. You told you. If I tell you I'm gonna do something, you know I'm gonna do it, man.
Oh,
You know I'm gonna do it.
I do know that about Paige. How you doing, man? What's going on with you?
You guys were talking about age, right? And I'm 3 months from 66.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I've been working with a guy who started with me when he was 68. His name is Ted Evans, and he broke his back in 3 places when he was 22. Today he's 87, and when he was turning 87, my president of my company and one of my business partners, great guy named Steve Yu, like I create the stories, he tells them, and he says, we gotta do something special for Ted. He's 87. It's been 20 years. You guys been working together. And I said, yeah, like, what do you want to do? And I swear to God, he says, how about breakdancing? I'm like, what? Dude, no. He's 87, man. You know, he can move, but he can't do anything. He goes, well, not breakdancing, hip hop. I go, hip hop? This is a white cracker from Alabama. You know, it's like, you know, this guy never heard a hip hop song in his life.
Yeah.
The bottom line is we brought in a guy named Xavier, who's an amazing dancer, choreographer. And for 6 months, Ted worked with him every day. Now he's 87, so 2 hours is pushing it. Hour and a half, 5 days a week. And we filmed it all. And at some point, Steve decides, and you guys got to remember that song that I can't remember the name of it, but the one that Usher did with Little John and Ludacris.
Yeah.
It was like the hottest dance song, you know, best music video, smoking hot chicks. The energy was live as hell. But this is Usher. This is like reinvented Fred Astaire. You know, this is a dancer, man, a dancer. And we put out the first one. It's up on my DDP Yoga Facebook site, the actual company site. We put it up there and premiered it just so people could see the beginning and this journey. And at some point during that video, we show what the music video is that he's going to try to duplicate. And his jaw just like, he goes, I can do the last part. And he got up and walked away. And this kid, Xavier, is so talented, and he worked with him. It became like his grandpa, man. And the relationship that they had. And then at some point, Ted says to me when we're working out over at my house, he says, you know, and it's like almost we set it up, but it wasn't. It was just natural. Steve was filming us working out, and then Ted was sitting next to me, and he says, you know, there's nobody that's playing Ludacris. I said, don't look at me, man. I can't do that rapping. I mean, that shit that Ludacris does is hard. I mean, it's hard. He goes, if I'm doing Usher, you can at least do Ludacris. So, dude, I got that shit down. and the shit that Ted does and how that Xavier pulled it together, we're gonna break the next video, which will be like part 2. And then when we play the video on New Year's Eve, man, it's gonna go viral because it's Usher up here and Ted down here.
Oh,
so you can see the whole video on both sides.
Oh,
And you can see that, wow, this is pretty amazing, man.
You're gonna
It's
break the
magic.
internet.
So
Yeah,
Paige,
it's
photos up now
showing
on
people
your
it's what's
Facebook?
possible.
And-
The story that leads up to it is on my DDP Yoga Facebook page. You know, DDP Yoga, 2 words. And if you just go down a few, you'll see it. It says 87-year-old man breakdances. You know, is it possible? And of course, that's just a headline to grab people to watch it. But when people watch it, and it's so funny because it's not just Ted. There's a cast of 20 people. And the women, there's only one person in there who's 40, and he's playing Little John. His name is Garrett, because he's so funny. And Little John, it was such a huge part of that energy for that song. And so Garrett really brought it. But everyone else is 58 to 87. And the women are 58 to 79. And it gave them purpose every day to get there. And because halfway through it, for the last 3 months, all they did was rehearse. 3 months, because they can't go over 2 hours, you know. So bottom line is, Ted would come up to me and he's like, Diamond, they're laughing at me, you know. I go, what are you talking about? They're laughing at I'm not doing it. I go, Ted, you are making them so happy that you can do what you're doing that they're laughing like, oh my God, he's doing this. He's like, really? He's like, he's almost like a Forrest Gump, the way he talks. He's really an amazing cat, man. Like, it took me forever to get him to use the chair doing the workouts, because for 18 years, he's been using no chair while he's doing my workout. And I'm like, Ted, it will be easier. It'll help you more to use the fucking chair. So I finally got him working with the chair now. And we work out a couple times a week, and I got some of my guys work out with him. I want to keep this guy going to 105 because he's my benchmark, man. If he can do it, I can do it.
Well, and Paige, you've had so many different types of benchmarks, man. I mean, if you guys are not familiar with some of the transformations that have taken place under Paige's watch, oh my God.
Yeah.
First of all, John Paws, our producer, will you put Paige's link up on the screen so we can all know where to watch Ted's story? I'm going to watch that when we get off the podcast.
Yeah, me
here.
too.
Okay, where do you live at right now? What state are you in?
Florida.
In Atlanta. I live in Atlanta, just on the other side, because Atlanta's really big how it forms out. And I'm just on the other side of 285, really right next to Marietta.
So you're about 3 hours from me. You're not far.
Well, Butterbean, you should hop in your car someday and come down and see me for a little bit.
I will do that.
Well, you know, you guys, I would be lying if I said that. I mean, Paige is the greatest guest you could ever have, but I'd be lying if I didn't say part of the motivation was to make the Butterbean Diamond Dallas Page connection. Because, Paige, I think Butterbean can still be your greatest transformation ever. I'm convinced of that.
Well, I'll tell you how I do. This is how I do things, Butter. This is how I do them. I've got a thing I call the list. And if you do everything on the list, then I will invite you down here and spend a couple of days with me. Because you got to see the way I live. You know, it's the way I live. It's not just, you know, a workout, a diet. It's a lifestyle. I mean, at any point in time, man, I can take my foot and pull it over my head. Now, am I still tight as shit sometimes? Hell yeah. Every morning and every night. I do my shit when I wake up. I work out during the day, and I do it before I go to bed because I'm still a Ferrari, but I got 997,000 miles on me. You know, so the bottom line is you got to keep moving. I don't care how much pain, don't do that. But uncomfortableness, you have to work through that to break up all the scar tissue that all these crazy bastards on this right here have caused because of all the weight and the banging and the, you know, just all the impact.
Yeah.
All the impact, man. I'm like no impact anymore, like zero. But constant movement and filling my body with the least amount of inflammatory foods, like the very least. And I fill my brain with positive shit, man, all day long, because it'll creep in and pull your ass down, as you know.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to be positive. I know that I know.
That and become comfortable in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, and he's completely right. I've been doing it, the DDP yoga as well for a while. It's on my knees. I have no confidence on my knees, so I do only the upper body exercise that he does. He even have the straps, and still, if I go to a hotel somewhere, it's one of all these static stretches, and you'll be amazed how really pumped you're gonna get from doing something with absolutely no weight and all the little shoulder raises that you do with resistance. It's really amazing. So I think you're gonna love it.
Hey, Flex, I'm going to be out there in LA too. Actually, Tony Horton has a show that he has on you know, the guy who did P90X.
Yeah.
That guy, he's.
Nope, you just dropped.
Hold on. Someone was trying to call in. Am I back? Yeah. Someone was trying to call in. They're probably going to try to do it again. But Tony Horton has a show on YouTube now. And he just got contacted my buddy Marlon, who does all my booking, to come and do his show with him. He's going to work out with me first, and then he's going to bring me on. We're going to do his show, you know, whatever it is, a podcast where you sit in front of the camera. I guess I'm not sure, but either way, I'm excited to do that. But I'm going to be out there. Flex, are you still out in LA?
No, sir. Actually, I moved to Vegas.
All right. How did I lose you guys?
6 years ago.
Hold on, I can't hear you. What happened to my voice?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I hear him.
I hear you too.
It looks like his screen
He's
froze.
frozen.
Maybe somebody tried to call again.
I think Rick's frozen too. Yeah, Rick's frozen.
Rick, can you say
Hey,
something?
we're
Can
here
we hear
though.
you?
Hello.
I'm in and out, guys.
Uh-oh.
Well, I personally haven't tried the yoga, and I'm definitely going to go with Diamond and try it out. I mean, it's got to help. It's better than doing nothing. I need to be able to move around again, and I'm not able to right now. So that's one thing I'm going to be getting a hold of him for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually tried. I don't even want to use the name. I'll just say it once, Breaker, because of all the crap later on he got involved into. But I tried that yoga before, the hot yoga. Jeez, man. I mean, it was so amazing. For one, these little shorts that you put on. So I'm the only black guy in there and the only young guy in there. So all the women are going crazy. And I'm thinking they're laughing at me. And I'm just like, you know, I'm semi-flexible, but nothing like yoga, right? But I'm in there. I'm just trying to give it my all, man. I'm trying to give it my best. I'm trying not to pass out. And, you know, after each class, they'd walk up like, you know, you inspire us. I'm like, for what? You know, because comic relief or, you know, what, to make you guys laugh? He goes, no, just that you're in here and you're trying and you don't give up. And, man, I tell you, That was probably one of the most strenuous things I ever done. And each time I took one of those classes, I'd go out in my car and I'd have to sit in my car for like 30 minutes before I could do anything because my nerves would be so freaking shot. But man, I would feel so exhilarated. You know, it's just amazing. It's amazing.
It is crazy.
So you tried the yoga, boss?
I did. You know, it's a different kind of yoga. It's not the yoga what you're used to. This is with a lot of, you know, resistance and it really works your muscles. And you have a heart rate monitor as well. And you see that thing actually going up when you are doing certain exercises. So like I said, there's a lot of with the bending and that they do and sitting on the knees. Unfortunately, I can't do that. So I started building all these exercises that I saw that were really effective for my upper body. I just started doing that and tried to avoid my knees because it was too painful. But yeah, it's a different yoga. It's not regular yoga. This is a lot of power you're going to use.
And Bean, I know you would benefit hugely from it. Like the first, I think, Paige, tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe the first viral video you had was Arthur. And
right.
And Bean, you've got this guy who makes all of us right now look like world-class athletes ready to step on a stage. This guy was in horrendously bad shape and ridiculously overweight. He was on canes. He was never going to walk again. At the end of this video, this guy is lean, mean, and doing wind sprints. I kid you not. It'll blow your freaking mind.
Like my buddies, some of my buddies called me up because I did that in 2007 with him. And then my business partner, Steve Yu, who did the video with Ted, he said, I'm going to redo that video for you in 2012. Now, understand, it took me 8 years before we were an overnight success. And I was $548,000 in before I made a dime. And not till his video, when he took what his son filmed, all of it. He was 5'6", 297 pounds, could not walk without knee braces, back brace, and wraparound canes. He was a paratrooper. So the knees, the back, the hips, everything shot. And bottom line is I changed his diet because inflammatory food, the food is everything. And once I got him to change his diet and continue doing the program, because you can do it at any level, like now my shit is in bed, sitting in a chair, using a chair. So it's pretty make it so anybody could use it. The bottom line is he lost 140 pounds in 10 months. But more importantly, like Rick said, he lost the knee braces, back brace, and canes, not just to walk, but run. And, you know, he became like a ridiculous example of what was possible. And that video on just our YouTube is over 100 million. Our Facebook is over 250 million. And people have taken it from all different sites, all different languages. It's got over 1 billion views accumulative on that. But just on ours, it's over 350 million. And again, it just shows people what's possible. That's what we do with my company. We try to show people, if you're willing to put the work in, if you're willing to change your lifestyle, because your lifestyle beat the fuck out of you. Now you got to pay the price or you're going to be a miserable fucker. And one of the things, boss, that I was on, that, you know, I've developed a lot of these workouts now that have nothing to do with going up and getting down. So you're in the standing position, which I just call them stand-up workouts, which I'll call you about tomorrow and just tune you on to those. And Flex, like I said, I'm going to be out there in LA. Are you still in LA?
Actually, I moved to Las Vegas about 6 years ago.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I get out there too. Damn, yes, I was just out there.
Yes, sir.
I'll get your number from Rick, and next time I come out, I'll definitely come out there and see you and at least spend a day with you and just show you what I got going, because
yes, sir,
I know how much you beat your body up with all those weights, man.
Yes, sir.
And this will help.
Yeah.
And
I was kind of just noticing that I can't make them out, but man, it looks like some amazing photos of just look like a time wall of history of on the back of there. That's amazing. Who are some of the people you have behind you?
Oh God. That's Bo Jackson right there. I met him at a football game. Yeah, right. Who's Bo? Eric Bischoff, Kevin Nash, Bruce Springsteen, Chris Jericho, Ric Flair, Mick Foley. Over here, and of course, you got Stone Cold Steve Austin, Clint Eastwood, Jake the Snake, Hulk Hogan, Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias, Kiss, Snoop Dogg. It's everybody who's anybody that have ever come across it. Boss is in here somewhere. Bas Rutten and I have a shot up here. I mean, I've got it's like this all over this room, and it's about 600, maybe 700 square feet in this room. It's like it's my war room, and just all the memories, man. It's one of the main reasons I don't really miss it, because it's all around me. This is my favorite picture ever, though. This guy was my hero, and when I finally get to meet him and he sees me, he says, "Lock up, Diamond."
Wow.
The man, right? Like,
wow.
I couldn't believe it. He could still talk then. The next time, he says, "Come here."
Wow.
Those are two of my favorite pictures, man.
Wow.
He loved kids so much, man. I mean, he take the time at it, like everything. People around him, his little kids there, man. He was a great man, boy. He changed the world.
Yeah.
He changed the world.
Amazing person.
So,
Amazing person.
Dallas, we have a lot of people that watch this show. They're attracted to the stories of redemption and overcoming and whatnot. What do you say to somebody that comes to you and says, I'm done. I've got nothing left. It's all downhill from here. I know that's a big pointed question, man, but I'd love to hear like how you respond to that type of abject negativity.
I wish I could pull the exact thing up, but this iPad I have here doesn't have my favorites on it. I just got a Cameo request from a woman, and she said, "I'm 600 pounds. I have the DDPY program and trying to do the seated workouts. Discouraged, though. Is it really possible for me to do this?" Then she says, "I don't want to be 42, never leaving my bedroom and die. Can you please give me a prayer," something like that, in some kind of hope. And I do my open all the time. Okay, it's me. I mean, I went into the whole thing, DDP, bam, I do the whole open. And I know she's thinking to herself, "Oh my God, this is not what I wanted." And then I went, enough of that shit. That's how I open. I go, this is a lot different than that. I said, "So you're asking me for help or what you should do." And all that, and I talked to her from the heart for about
I can hear him.
minutes.
Can you guys hear him?
No.
No.
And over that period of time, I said, "Jim Pryor, watch the Relentless." You can't. No, not again.
Oh man.
Hello.
You're saying it's so important.
Nothing.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
ask
going
him
out
to go
again.
back
I'm leaving
over
again.
it.
Yeah.
We'll ask
He's
him to go
going
back
to
over
start
it.
over. So I'm too
We
interested
lost you,
now.
brother.
Dallas, let us know when you're back. We want to hear that story for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll be
we're
back.
here.
I'll be back.
Now we got you.
Now we
Oh,
get,
you got me. You got me. Okay.
we left
All
it
right.
at the moment that you did the DDP thing on a Cameo, and then you started talking.
Right. So we start talking. I'm sorry. No, I'm talking to myself because it's the Cameo, you know. And I said, "Here's the two things you need to do.
Yeah, you froze it again.
Oh, we're not having
Go
luck here.
to Emily."
I'm dying to hear this too.
Yeah.
Well, we'll as we wait for Dallas to come back, Perfect time to bring up Camel, because I forget to bring it up last week. Bas Rutten, Flex Wheeler, Butterbean are all on Cameo. And if you want to be inspired by them, by Diamond Dallas Page, who's also on Cameo, go to your Cameo app, go to cameo.com, check these guys out. You want a personal message from Boss, from Bean, from Flex, that's your place. Go to Cameo. And I work for Cameo, so that's my shameless plug of the week. Had to bring it up.
Okay, then I'm going to have to talk about this because I just found something and I thought it was the craziest thing ever. In the United Arab Emirates, Saudi authorities have conducted the biggest ever crackdown on camel beauty contestants because those were camels that received Botox. And because they threw them out of the competition. Oh, let me see. Over 40 camels were disqualified for using Botox.
What?
It's a billion-dollar industry, though. It really is. A billion. I've seen the same thing.
How do you know this, Bean? Oh,
yeah, there's $66 billion in prize money. They say $66 million in prize money.
Wait! I don't get this. So wait a minute. There's
I know.
a beauty contest.
I'm so lost right now.
It's a camel beauty pageant.
It's a beauty pageant for camels.
For
And
camels.
they're injecting them with Botox.
Yeah.
Guess
what it is?
Single hump and double hump.
Wow.
Right.
Well, you know what? I'm on my way down to give it a shot. Maybe I can make a couple of coins. I've been called worse than a camel before.
Yeah.
Dallas is back with us.
Dallas,
All right,
what
those
you
fuckers
missed
have-
while you were gone.
Well,
You missed some good stuff while you were gone.
I just heard Boss say it.
You heard it. Excellent. So tell us your
I heard
story,
it.
man. We're dying
Those-
to hear it, please.
Before I get to that, Boss, those guys got way too much fucking money.
Yeah.
That's what those guys got. Way too much money. So the bottom line is I told her, go to Amazon Prime, watch The Resurrection of Jake the Snake. That's my brother. You've seen it, Rick. It's a very powerful. It's probably one of the best comeback stories ever. And then watch this, Relentless, which is another documentary that really tells the story from when I blew my back out and I said my career was over to where I am today and what we've done and the ups and the downs to get there. The travel. I said, then you'll really know me. I said, then email info@DDP Yoga, your phone number, after you've done that, and I'll call you. And what I had my wife, Paige, call her. Her name is Christy. She got a heart of gold. She wasn't 600. She was 500 because she hadn't been on a scale. And her mother told her, you're 600 pounds. But she's only like 5'2" and 500 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So she's been doing my chair workouts and standing up for the last couple of weeks. And, I've talked to her a couple of times and she's starting to document her and, on her end, she's doing all that and just going through the journey, man. And she already had my shit. It wasn't like she had to buy it. She had it.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
He's out of here.
paying
Yeah.
for it, even though
You need to invest in a better connection.
wasn't doing it because she thought someday I'm going to do it. She never thought I was going to call her. Motherfucker.
We heard that. We heard that.
The last
right.
part we got again. You need,
Am I
you need
really
a better
back yet?
connection, brother. So maybe.
My damn friggin' internet has been screwing up with me. I called the internet people today. They're supposed to come on Friday, but that couldn't help us tonight. So the bottom line is, every January I start a Positively Unstoppable challenge. This year it's $250,000 you can win. The minimum, that's like you put the books up there and you pull one of the books. It's either going to have 25 grand in it or 250 grand. There's only one that's got 250 grand, but I give out like $50,000 in prizes, like cash, and break it all down so people can have something to shoot for, but there's not one person who has ever come in the top 6 people that came there to win money. They came there because they were looking for accountability. They were looking for hope. They were looking to, to be around like-minded people. And the kid who won last year, his name is, for just this year we're in right now, 2021, he was 390 pounds. And he could barely, I take 6 pictures, front, side, fold over, and then eventually they pick your foot up. How high can you pick your foot? You're here. Can you take it here? Eventually, you're going to do that shit or that shit. And that's the goal, because that's the core strength. And he could do it at barely at 380, pick his foot up. The other picture he has right next to him, and he's been doing the program for 6 months, and I see this on our site. He's holding his foot over his head, and he's 380. I'm like, that guy's putting the work in.
Yeah.
So I get his number, and I call him. This is before he's in the contest. This is a year before he goes in the contest. And I call him up, and he's a huge fan. So I got to get through that shit first and go, bro, I'm Dallas, you're Brian, fuck all that other shit. Here's what you want to do. If you really want to friggin' not just change your life, but own it, on the app, I know you're on it, right on the front page, it says the list. Do everything on the list, and I swear to God, bro, it'll change your life. In 7 months, he lost 100 pounds. Then he joined the contest, which started in January. And it's for 6 months. Whatever your best 6 months is. You start in January, you end in June. Start in February, you end in July. Start in March, you end in August. That's how it breaks down. So you've got 6 months wherever you want them. He took the first 6 months, lost another 70 pounds. He lost 170 pounds in 13 months. Fuck the weight. That's just one portion of the challenge. That's the first part, your physical. Now, on the list, you got to read Positively Unstoppable, The Art of Owning It, which is my book that reboots your fucking brain. And if you really apply it and do it, it really fucking works. And then they get on this site with all these people, and they're all, like I say, that guy was coming there looking for hope. He ends up winning, but I've got 6 people who lost anywhere between 70 pounds in a 6-month period and 120 pounds. One guy lost 120 pounds in just 6 months, and that's all he had to lose. But it's the mental change they go through so that it keeps. I hate that fucking show, Biggest Loser, because it humiliated people. I like the inspirational shit that they did, but it was mixed with shit where they just fucked people over and just beat them down and starve them and had them do all sorts of bullshit that they shouldn't have done. And the bottom line is that's why all the people gain all that weight back afterwards, because they've lost. If you just take everything away, of course you're going to lose weight. You got to learn to make it a lifestyle. We are starting to film a show, Butterbean. Oh my God, Butterbean. We are starting to film a show in February that's called Change or Die. And I've got 5 spots. And I didn't think about that, but it's for 3 months. You got to be there. It ain't no going home. And we start on Monday, this Monday, casting. I will put you right in front of my people who are doing this with me. This is my show. And I'm producing it, directing it, and everything with my business partner, Steve Yu. And this is going to be the show that really changes lives. Because we're going to show you how to eat. We're not going to show you how to, cut portion. We're going to do portion control, whatever. But it's really about lifestyle change. Like you got to know, like we tell people, watch these certain movies.
Hey guys,
Do we lose Dallas again?
I think we lost him again.
Okay,
He's talking, but he ain't nothing coming out. And he had me interested now. I mean, come on, Dallas.
Dude, I'm thinking about applying now. Right. Wow.
Sign my ass up.
I wanna ask him about the production period. He said you're there for 3 months. I want to know more about that for sure.
There's
But,
got to be a bidet there at least. They at least got to have a bidet for me. I mean, I kind of I'm packing a bidet. I can bring one with me. Ain't no big deal.
They're portable. I'll order you one if they don't have one there for you,
Well,
brother.
I got an extra one. I ordered one for the camper too.
Of course you did.
You damn right I did.
I got one in every bathroom.
Oh, you're true man after Butterbean's own heart, Flex Wheeler.
One in every bathroom. Can't live without them. What's crazy now is I don't feel comfortable when I go and use other people's toilet or a public toilet. I'm like, man, you don't feel quite as clean there.
See, they made fun of me. They made fun of me, Flex. I'm glad I got somebody on my side.
Hey,
I know.
hey.
I knew we invited Flex on this show for a reason.
Hey, you know what's weird is I've been using them for years when out of Europe because it's been so way ahead of time. Boss knows that. They've been in Europe for so long. Yep. And I've been to the Middle East a billion times, India and all that stuff. And I mean, they literally make a fun of Americans and saying, you guys don't clean properly. I mean, even go back to historically how you're supposed to use the toilet by squatting. And they sell these little stools now where you can put underneath your feet, to bring your foot in that right position. But, we look at them and think primitive. What are they doing, squatting, taking a crap? In Asia, still there's no toilets in some places, And I remember I used to look like, the hell,
They still got them. There's a hole in the floor. People don't realize that. There's a hole in the floor.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
I could never use them. I'm too damn big. I'd fall over and fall. Well, I wouldn't fall in because it wouldn't,
Well, Butterbean, I hope that you don't ever have to miss a show any week for any reason. But if you do, that Flex has got the bathroom part of it covered for that.
I got you.
We now know.
Got you.
Awesome.
Got you.
We now know
but
that.
Have you ever shit a Coke can?
No.
Here we go.
And if I did, I wouldn't tell no one. What's about to come out your mouth there, buddy?
Story once before.
Well, guys, I'm sorry we lost Dallas Page. Bean, we got to take that conversation up with him offline for sure.
Definitely interested.
That would be so amazing to see you do that, man. I would like nothing better. That's for sure. And
agreed.
I figured it out.
Different house.
I
Different part.
figured it out. So I got off my fucking phone and got on my computer.
And Dallas, we're talking about this show that you started to describe, and you've got a very interested party here in Butterbean, man. That'd be amazing if that worked out.
Well, I on Monday, but I will bring it up. And but again, you'll talk to Nadia and make sure that everything's copacetic because it's gotta be something that we're there for 3 months. The house that I took care of Jake in, I called it the accountability crib, and I rented it out after all that was out because I moved over to this other place, and when we found out how much, because of the interest rate being so low, the market in our area just went through the roof. So for us to get another house, it would have cost me a fortune. So I was like, screw it, I'll just take my place back. And the people were going to buy their own home anyway. So they got out, and we're going to move everybody in. We got five people we're going to bring in, and my buddy Josh is going to be like, the guy who's there most of the time, and but we're going to be there every day, man, filming. And it's kind of like, I don't like to use words Biggest Loser, but you know what that means? Meets The Apprentice, meets Fear Factor. And when I say
what's the whole concept though? What's the concept of the show?
The concept of the show is to change people's lives. And
I mean, like, what would be a daily routine?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, until we get to the middle of this month, I can't give you exactly that, so I don't want to give you pieces of it. I'll just tell you it will be something like Biggest Loser was, but where the only way you get kicked out is if you're not putting the work in. Like, nobody leaves. It's not like competition show for someone to win $1 million or any of that shit. You know, it's a competition show that helps people. You know, it's kind of like our contest. I don't know how to explain it. People help each other. It's not like people are, you know, trying to beat each other down or doing that bullshit that they do on Survivor and shit, where they're trying to fuck with people. We're not trying to make any drama. Well, there'll be drama, but fuck, that's because you got fucking all those people together in one house. But to me, it's work your way through the drama. I've got one of the best addiction specialists who is a therapist that turned Jake's life around, because it wasn't just me. It was my team. And my team of people, they give a fuck. And that's what most people are just in it for the money, man. I'm taking another $500,000 and investing it in the show. And I don't care. You know, I've already been approached by a couple different networks, but I'll give you the show when it's finished, because it's not going to be some bullshit fucking, you know, people fucking with each other. I want people inspiring each other. We had enough fucking with each other for the last 2 years with all this fucking COVID that still ain't going away. And I got opinions on that.
I get that. I mean, like, what's the I guess I'm not relaying what I'm trying to.
I can give it to you right now. I can't give it to you right now, but by the end of this week coming up, not this week, but next week, I'll be able to give it to you. And then again, Nadia runs the whole deal as far as getting everybody set up to get interviewed and all that shit. But you got to want it more than anything, bro. And it's change or die. How old are you now, Butterbean?
I'm 55. Like I said, I can't walk more than 4 or 5 steps right now without cane or crutches.
Again,
I need something.
Yeah, well, that would be a great turnaround story. But again, you know, you have to understand how I do shit, man. You've been a big guy your whole life, though. You know, from what I've seen, you had to be over 300
I've never been
pounds.
small.
Yeah, you never. It ain't about getting small. It's about getting you healthier and be able to move. But you also put all that weight and all that shit in your knees and your back and your hips and your shoulders, like you know. Again, I don't do the casting part of it, but it would be pretty amazing if you were there. Like there's one area, there's only one bedroom that's on the main floor where you don't have to go up any stairs and shit, except for to walk in to get in the place.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, not only having you on the show, which is incredible, but I think, you know, the show gives way to something even bigger. You having a show and a platform like that, but having a man like Butterbean on there, I mean, it only spells success. I get it. I get production. I get business. I don't see the problem in it. And if, you know, I'm sure the people who work with you are very smart. So as soon as they hear that Butterbean is even a possibility, they're going to jump all over that. But imagine, and when you talk about changing people's lives and having somebody with as big as name as Butterbean, and like that just feels like if this man can, what excuse do you actually have that you can't do it, you know, and stuff like that. So it's such an honor to have you on the show and everything, but to hear about this possibility, it makes everything else small. I mean, that's just amazing, and that you're helping people. And you know, I've only gotten to know Butterbean a little bit since we've been talking and everything, but good grief, man, this just spells his name all over the place. And imagine just, I get it. You know, I get it. I hate those reality shows. It's not reality. It's all played out. I've been on a few of them. They give you scripts. They start stuff like that. But when you talk about changing real people's lives, I mean, who wouldn't watch that? I would. I'd pay to watch that.
And Dallas, it sounds like you want everybody on the show to win, and that's amazing.
Yeah. That's right? It. That's right. If everybody could walk out of there, you know, but you know how that goes. You know, you don't know, and it's really comes into one of the things I did love about the positive things that Biggest Loser did is it had people talk to who they were. You know, like now, who are you right now, and who do you want to be? You know, like where do you see yourself? Like, and that's where every single person who comes through, and this is part of it, Bean, you know, is we don't give them the whole list because we want them to do it there. You know, so parts of it you have to do ahead of time, but the rest of it gets kind of taught there. And it's just all it is enlightening people, because it's when we're filming it, we're not just enlightening the people in the room, people in the house, we're enlightening anybody who's turning on and watching it, because you're never going to see Food Inc. or Genetic Roulette on our television. How could you do it when you got Domino's and friggin' Pizza Hut and
So
Taco Bell and Coca-Cola? I'm not gonna have any of those sponsors. Zero. I'm gonna have like Whole Foods, and Zevia and shit, that almond milk and shit that we should be eating. What they've done to our food is fucking criminal. And it's all about the money. It's just like, I've got my own feelings about a lot of different things. The only thing I really share with is the food. I don't talk about all the other shit I think is so fucked up with. It's all about the money. Follow the money. Let's see, how much is Pfizer going to make this year? Last year they made 33 billion. This year they're going to make 36 billion. And all you got to do is listen to Dr. McCullum, who was on Joe Rogan's show for 2 hours and 43 minutes 2 weeks ago. And
okay, so here's the deal, Dallas. So there's 5 people in the house, right?
Yep.
And the object is to lose as much weight as you can.
The object is to get healthy. The object is to get healthy.
Well,
whatever that is. Because there might be people, and I can say, I don't know. I've never done this, Bean. But I never did a documentary either. Watch Resurrection of Jake the Snake, and you tell me that's not one of the best, most inspiring documentaries ever. We never done it. We never taught a friggin' 87-year-old man how to dance. But you'll see. Like, whatever the fuck we do it at its highest fucking level. We don't fuck around. We don't do shit half-assed. Do I know what it is yet? Fuck no, I don't. And even if I did, I know it's going to change.
Awesome. Hey,
Yeah,
keep me in mind. Seriously.
Well, what I'm going to do is we're going to get Rick is going to hook me up with all you guys. I already got bosses, everything, but I want, I will set you up with my girl Nadia. She does she'll tell you more shit than I told her, because she's the one. And I don't give people jobs and take them away. If I don't think they're doing it right, I'm going to come up and go, what are you doing? But I'm not going to walk up and just step on them. Like, I give people jobs, and then I want them to follow through with it. And then, okay, so what do we have? And then, okay. And if I agree with it, and most times I do, I leave a lot of this up to my business partner, Steve Yu. I create the stories. He tells them. And he tells them as good as they can be told. He does it. You guys don't watch AEW wrestling right now, but my guys are the reason why their stories that they play out. Cody Rhodes put us in charge of all of that shit. Well, I got a whole division just does the stories for AEW. Like, when they put them all together, we tell them. That's what we do. We're storytellers. But our biggest thing is we inspire people to believe. That's the biggest thing. When we were on Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful, he asked my business partner, Steve, he's like, so, Steve, now back then there was no internet fitness yet, right? This is 2014. There's no real internet fitness like app or any of that shit for fitness. That's what we were there for. And I didn't want their money. And I told them, not them, but I told the producers that. I said, we're doing okay. I just want their connections and some of their knowledge. And I'm willing to give up 5%. And I wasn't willing to give up more than that. We got out there, and Mr. Wonderful says, well, Steve, Beachbody, Gaiam. You never saw this on the show. This was they didn't use this. Gaiam, the big yoga company, and Beachbody. They make all the money. He's like, you could fill a stadium with athletes that have come up with workout systems or actors that have come out with workout systems. You could fill up, the Georgia Dome Stadium, fill it up with them. How are you guys making money? And Steve said, we inspire people. He said, yeah, that's great. But how do you make the money? And I said, bro, we inspire people. That's what we do. And a lot of people get it. A lot of people don't. So that's the part of it being, it's the willing to come in and be acceptable to what we're teaching, because that's what's going to make you feel. And I'm the guinea pig, not for the weight loss, but for the body.
Yeah,
And feed up, man. I don't eat shit.
Dallas, I so get what you're saying, man. It's like I'm thinking, do I email Dallas now and ask for an audios connection? Because you and I have talked a lot throughout the years, and being you and I have too. I don't need to lose weight. I'm 140 pounds, but you'll hear me a bitch as much as the next person. That sometimes I get depressed, sometimes I'm isolated, I'm by myself. My diet's shit, and I know it's shit, but I'm not doing anything to change it. I just went. My body could be in so much better shape. I wish I could run again. I'll never run again. I know it's all this self-defeating behavior and self-defeating talk that I have in my head. I know it's all bullshit, but I'm not doing anything about it. I look at this as, God, this is the opportunity for somebody that knows what they're doing to tell me what to do. All I have to do is apply myself. And what a transformation that could bring. That's what I'm getting here, Paige. And I'm psyched to see the show, man. Sounds amazing.
Oh, again, like what Bean said, what is it? I said, I don't know yet. I do know, but I can't expel the information the way I will be able to when it's done, when it's done. And it's going to be exactly what I want it to be, and Steve wants it to be, or we won't let you have it, meaning the networks. I'll take it to cable, and I'll friggin' buy my fucking time. Fuck them. You don't need them anymore. And this is a story that needs to get out. But I promise Tony, one of Tony Khan's partners, Tony Khan owns the AEW wrestling organization. And he also owns the Jaguars, his family, and some teams over in they're bazillionaires. But he's one of the nicest human beings. I've never met a billionaire. I've met a few of them, but this is just a sweetheart guy. And one of his partners said, just promise me before you take it anywhere, you'll let me try and, let me look at it and let me try and sell it to one of the big networks. I go, only if it's what I give you, because I'm not changing it. And if they take it and they decide after a season to cancel it, I keep it. That's the only way I'm doing it. When you don't fucking need them, then it's way easier. And I don't need them. And, I'm one of those guys that it took me over the last 10 years, our company has grown and I have zero debt. So we're a cash rich company that can invest back into ourselves. That app is worth I probably got 5.5 million in that app.
Wow.
It's so much shit on there. And it's all about content, giving people as much content as possible.
Well, I remember when you were getting started.
To move around again, I'll be happy to be there.
Like I said, I'm going to get it from Rick, and I'm going to make sure I get a hold of Nadia. And on Monday, we're having our meeting here. You'll be first name I bring up, bro. And then we'll go from there.
Right on. You'll just have to you'll have to lend them to us once a week for an hour, so we
That's
can.
Easy. People still get to live their lives. They just live it within what we're doing. That's all. But people still have time to do some of their own shit. Especially, look what we just went through over these last 2 years. If there's anything we've learned, a lot of people don't have to fucking be where they need to be. They get this shit and they're good to go.
Sit here on Maui all day long doing my work. I know what you mean, man. And Bean, for what it's worth, I've been to the accountability crib and it's pretty nice for what it's worth.
Oh, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
As long as you got a bidet, we're all right.
Yeah.
Gotta have that Butterbean bidet. That's right. That's right.
I bring my own.
Well, Dallas, man, it's been so kind of you to join us. I know it was short notice. We've been wanting to have you on from day one, and it just happened to work out today. And it was really great to see you as always. I was very excited for you and Bean to connect. And this is great. I get to step back as a fan for a minute and see Flex Wheeler and Dallas Page and Bas Rutten and Butterbean together, and it's quite a group, man. Thanks so much for participating, Dallas.
It's my pleasure, man. And you've been wanting to get me and Bean together for years, and there couldn't be the timing couldn't be better. It's all about timing, man. Period. That's why it took 8 years for my company to take off. Timing. I needed the internet. I needed it the way it is, way it started 10 years ago. I needed that because I was never going to make it as an infomercial or some shit like that. And I'm never going to do reality show shit. I call my shit docuseries.
Yep. Because it's real.
Just what you've been able to do in your entire life as an athlete, and now be able to turn that around and pay it forward and help people who really, really need help, man, it's incredible. I look forward to meeting you one day. And man, that's just one of the most honorable things in the world, is to turn back around and reach down and help your brother out. You know what I mean? So there's so many people that are not like that. They have more money than Oprah, as I say as a joke, but they're not willing to help anyone. So, I mean, just what you're doing and hear about your story and everything is amazing. And it's just beautiful. Neil Spruce, was like a father to me. I don't know if any of you guys know who Neil Spruce is, but we won't go into it. But he helped me out a long time ago. And I said, how do I ever pay you back? He goes, you can't. There's no way you can ever pay it back. But what you can do and what you will do is you will pay it forward. And he just said, I charge you for the rest of your life is help people by changing their life through health and fitness. And that's how you really can change people's lives, through health and fitness. One of the best ways is have just a person be able to get up and move around or walk or just appreciate the air. And that's never really known until it's taken away from you for some reason or whatnot. So just, amazing what you're doing. And I wish you all the best and success.
Thank you, boss. I mean, I gotta tell you guys, there's one thing I do want to promo, because Jake the Snake, it was my boy. We did like an update, because when he went through the transformation was in 2012 to 2013. It was like 18 months, and got off booze, pills, coke, and crack, like everything, and lost the weight, looked great, and now, because of when someone goes through that addiction time, the fog of all the shit that they've been putting in their, smoking or snorting or whatever, you can't have a conversation with them. And the first time when me and Steve started the film, Jake, as we were leaving, he said, so what do you think? I said, man, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to have a real conversation with my brother again. I mean, he was the Yoda of wrestling. And it took a couple of years of him being sober, but now it's been 8 years. And he's sharper than he has ever been. He's going to be 67. Got a few knocks to the head like we all do, But overall, he's sharp as hell. And we did like a 7 or 8 months ago. We did just a catch up so people could see where Jake was at. And afterwards, I mean, it was such a great interview. Me and him going back and forth. Afterwards, he texted me on his way to the airport, and he said, "Dude, your storytelling is at a different level now. You're really getting the word out there, and us together, the way we went back and forth and we didn't step on each other." He goes, "We got to do this." And I text him back. I go, "Do what?" He goes, "A podcast." I go, "No, dude, I don't want to do that. I don't have the time." He said, "I want you to do it with me." And I was like, oh, fuck. Tough for me to say no to him because I don't ever have the career that I have without him. And in credit to what you said, Flex, he said when he was teaching me this shit, I didn't start wrestling when I was 35. My career didn't take off till I was 40. And a lot of it was because of Dusty Rhodes and Jake Snake Roberts. And Jake getting in my head and teaching me, but making me learn it. And when I would say, "Dude, how am I going to pay you back for this?" Back then, in the beginning, in the 90s. And he said, "You pass it on. That's what you do. You just keep giving it." And now today, we just put our first 4 shows in the can. We got on with Conrad Thompson, who does his own. He's got like 8 different podcasts now, and it was magic, man. And it starts January 4th. You can catch it on Spotify. It's called, or iTunes or wherever, but it's called DDP Snake Pit. And
Nice.
it's Jake is really like, it's inspirational. In the first 2 episodes, all we talk about, people know why, that they know I helped him, but they don't know why. And I did, because he did so much for me, and he believed in me when nobody else did. And it really helped propel me to believe in myself. And we get all that shit, like stories I forgot about, because we don't talk about shit till we sit down. And first two episodes were great, and second 2 are really good. There's a show called Heels, and part of the show, besides talking about, different questions that Conrad's give us, is we review Heels, and it's a wrestling show that was on Stars, and it just got re-upped, but nobody's talking about it. So we're talking about it, and we're shooting on it, like the good, the bad, and the ugly. We talk about it, so it just gives people. I just said, if you weren't even a wrestling fan, and Jake is so inspirational in it, it's really unbelievable to watch. So you guys might want to check that out if you're cued in. Guys,
Definitely look forward to catching it.
I respect you all big time. Love you, boss. Bean, I will be talking to you. I hook you up, my girl. Flex, you are the man, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Rick, you know what you mean to me, buddy. I love you, buddy.
I love you back, Paige. So good to see you as always, my friend.
Thanks for having me on, boys. See ya.
Yep.
And gentlemen, I just got to say, it's like, I don't know if I'm in a better mood this week than I was last week, but I just love seeing you guys together so much. This is the right group. We're
You're in
going
Hawaii.
places.
You can say that. You're not living where we are.
I know, right? It's a great group, truly. And oddly enough, the network that Dallas is on with Conrad Thompson, that's the network we're joining. So we're all going to be part of the same fraternity here. And hey, maybe we'll be doing a couple of these shows from the Accountability Crib in Atlanta, Bean.
That sounds all right.
It sounds like he's a smart guy. Doesn't seem like this is his first rodeo, and I'm sure he must have an incredible smart team behind him to be that successful. So I don't think it's going to be a problem or even a conversation. With all due respect, if they have a penny between the however many of it is on his team of intelligence, that's a done deal with being on that show. Jeez.
Oh, for sure. And Flex, I like how you kind of waded right through that. I thought that was really cool. I've been to Paige's place in Atlanta before, and I got to spend a week with him and his entire team and watch how they cook and the meals and the living situation. So one thing I do know about him is he does exactly what he said, is he lets people do their jobs, which is why he kept saying Nadia. I know that. But all that said, I'm 100% with you. They're gonna get it immediately. There's no doubt.
Kidding me? Jeez. Okay.
And it is a good group. They know their stuff. Maybe one day, once we get talking tough on the road and start doing our stuff, we can do a remote from his place in Atlanta. We'll all take a class together with Paige. That'd be really cool.
Like Bean said, as long as they have a bidet.
Well, you know what, boss? I'm wondering if there's only one bidet, are you going to have to referee Butterbean versus Flex Wheeler for that bidet? Or
never. I was just away from pictures of this man.
Stay away from that, right? Yeah.
No, I was just looking at some pictures of Bean, and I was looking at his mitts, and I was like, is that even possible? Geez, if that slap contest was in back in your time, good grief, man, you would have probably committed for murder.
I actually know the guy. He's actually in Vegas. The guy that does the slap contest.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, he started actually boxing just recently. Just started boxing.
Really? Wow. I love watching that, man. I mean, I start watching it on YouTube, and then it gets ghetto because every other type of slap cup contest comes up with people in nightclubs slapping the crap out of each other. But
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the guy that started here in the U.S. There's a Russian
that
guy
right?
and this is
Wow.
a U.S. guy. I'll get y'all in contact.
Well,
He's in Vegas.
And you guys know that Boss is like the king of the open-handed strike with pancreas
Yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah. It's the reason why he has that tattoo on his hand.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
but what I think it's somebody's going to get really hurt. I think it's really. When I look at it, I said I do not. They said, hey, you want to come to a show? I go, I don't know, man, because some of these people that get hit so hard. Imagine you have Butterbean there, Eric there, and he hits a guy. I mean, you can do some real freaking damage to somebody, and there's just standing there. There's no it's yeah. I'm afraid of
It's
it.
a nucleus for a disaster. I agree.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's like a train wreck, right? It's something you couldn't stop watching. You
That's
kind of
it.
like.
Phone booth fighting. Did you see this now? They're fighting in a phone booth.
What?
Elbows, everything in a phone booth, and they filmed that. It's the wildest thing. You know something's gonna happen.
the phone booth. Did you guys ever see team fights from Latvia? Has anybody seen that?
Oh, I've seen it. 5 against 5, right? Those.
5. Eric, you've never seen this?
I think
No.
I did.
Flex, have you seen this?
I think so.
I'm going to send you guys a link. It's fast. It's 5. It's country like Latvia versus Finland or whatever it might be. There's 5 guys against 5 guys in like the biggest cage you've ever seen. There's 5 referees. It's like, okay, go. And they go. And they're all throwing down. The trick is the first guy that gets eliminated, it turns the numbers to 5 against 4.
Yeah.
So inevitably by the end of this, there's usually one poor guy curled up on the ground with 5 people just pounding the shit out of him.
Yeah.
it's
It's gonna go
something to
wrong.
see, man.
You know it's gonna go wrong. Something.
He said it was going to go wrong.
Listen, I love all this stuff. I love the fighting, but there's some things, that is just too much. Because once you have one guy, you know where the damage is coming from. But if you're busy with this guy, you get kicked in the head by another person. You see, that's when you get real problems. So, yeah, I'm a little afraid of those kind of things.
Boss? That's just a prime example of how far we left the farm. Just
Yep.
the things that are on TV, right? These. I won't be disrespectful in saying any other network, but the things that are on TV. It's just how far we've left the farm. I mean, I can't even damn near watch TV with my kids anymore. My 13-year-old daughter who just came. I mean, it's like because I'm terrified of what might happen or what might come out of their mouth. It is just, decent TV is just gone now. And if it's not some MF and somebody calling somebody a B or
The whole time.
cheating on somebody's wife or girlfriend or just that and other, it's not worth TV. And I just, it's like, where are we now?
Train wrecks. You know how in Europe, how they talk about the Americans like that? They think it's completely insane, and it is. Look at it, because it's a train wreck. That's why we're watching it. So our lives feel better as long as you see the misery from other people. And it's a shame.
Well,
If you do something, we talked about this before. If you do something to promote, to help for charity, you got 0 people. You got 50 people who give you a follow, a like. But if I say, hey, mother, I got 50,000, it's completely backwards. I don't understand it, but.
And it's sad, man. It's like, look, we all grew up in the same era. Boss, you grew up in a different country, granted. So I don't know what the music there was like. But I remember, like, listening to the top 100. That was a big thing back in my day. And you weren't going to find one song with a bitch or a hoe or I'm not going to say the N-word. But it's like, it was all wholesome, fun, nice stuff, and I miss it.
But I will
really
say
do.
this. I will interrupt you, Rick. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's a lot younger than I am. And I was like, have you ever heard of this song called "Don't You Play With My Ding-a-Ling"? He's like, huh? I'm like, yeah. He goes, there's a song. He goes, no way. And I go, yeah, they used to play it when I was a kid. And I pulled up, we Googled the words. And I'm like, just for shits and giggles, you guys Google the words, don't play with my, oh my God. Dude, it's like whoever wrote that ought to be in prison,
I grew up listening to it. I thought everybody knew about that song.
The words, though, the lyrics,
But then
unbelievable.
if you sing "Baby, It's Cold Outside," that's not allowed. but you can say after I did this, I don't think, it's completely okay.
100%. Yeah.
No, I don't understand it.
Oh gosh.
It's different times, I know.
Everybody, I gotta go. It's time to eat something. I haven't ate for a while. I had a protein
time
shake
to
for
eat
lunch.
stuff.
It's time for some cabbage and shrimp. So
Yes.
I gotta
well,
go.
why don't we all sign off then? Great seeing everybody. We'll see you next week.
All right, peace.
All right, everybody. Godspeed.